Hey guys, this is Alex the Asian Truck Driver. If you think my videos are awesome, please like and subscribe like always. I appreciate you guys. For today's video, I want to talk about things that are going to happen to you when you're a new driver or a rookie. Okay, first off, you're going to be nervous as hell when you're driving by yourself. And to make things worse, the furthest you've ever driven, for most people, 2 to 5 hours drive max. I live in California all my life, and I'm talking about my friends, the furthest they drove is to LA. So, they're not going to be used to driving across the state, if you know what I mean. But I have friends to this day that get lost in the city that they live in. And that's in a car. So how many times have you driven to a new place in your car for a vacation with your girl, guy, husband, or wife, and you freaking totally get lost, right? I know I have. You find yourself getting frustrated and angry, and sometimes it can also lead to a fight. Well, guess what? When you're driving in a huge semi-truck, you can't just always make a quick U-turn when you want to. Big trucks just don't turn that way. It would be easier to say that you just can't make a wrong turn or get lost ever in a big rig. But let's be honest, guys. That's not the truth. The one thing that you have to realize as a professional driver is that you're going to get lost, and I mean a lot. Plus, detours are the worst. You might be following your GPS to the T, and then accidents happen, or there are road workers working, and you have to take a detour. After that, your GPS goes out of whack, and you're lost as hell. Believe me, it's happened to me a lot. I'm not trying to scare you, but when you're a professional driver, you're going to get lost a lot, and you just need to know how to handle yourself. So, for today's video, here are some tips that you can use to prevent yourself when getting lost, and when you're lost, what you can do to get around and do that without getting stuck. So the first tip is obvious as possible, I would say, is of course, map out where you're going. I don't mean you're driving straight for a few hours, because sometimes, or I would say most of the time when you're driving a truck, you find yourself driving your 11 hours straight on the freeway. And I'm not telling you to map every single hour you're driving. What I mean is when you get to the final truck stop where you're going to make that delivery the next day, you need to map out that night where you're going. Okay? So before you make that delivery, the way you're going to map it out is I use my Google Maps. And when I use my Google Maps, I use the satellite view. And then I look up the address and I kind of screen in and make sure I know where the actual entrances and exits are. Because I can't tell you how many times I just Google map the address, I get there, and as I get there, I'm passing the only entrance to turn into this warehouse. And next thing you know, I'm having to drive straight and I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. Okay? So when you map it, make sure that you actually use the satellite view and actually look where the entrance and exit is, and look if there's anywhere to park before you get there so you could check it out. All right. The second tip is when you, as a driver, like in household, I always have to call first for my appointments, right? So when I have to call for my appointments, instead of just saying, hey, tomorrow I'll be there at 5 o'clock, is that cool, or whatnot, I actually call them. And then when I call them, I actually say, hey, by the way, when I get there, is there anything I should know about? Are there any little bridges? Is there any detours? Or is there anything on the road that just could freaking F up my tires? Just anything, right? I'll tell you a quick story. One time I was in New Jersey going to the Beltman, which is a moving company. And I call them. I say, hey, I'm going to be there at like 9 o'clock in the morning. They said, cool. And I was like, okay, before I stop, before I hang up, is there anything I should know? And then the guy was like, okay, your trucker GPS is going to tell you to go this way. Do not go that way. Because when you make a right on that certain street, there's a bridge. It looks high enough, but I'm telling you, you're going to get hit. You're going to hit it and you're going to be stuck. So always make sure when you're asking to make your appointment or your delivery schedule, just to ask them, hey, is this the right address? And is this where I need to go? And is there any tips that you have for me? Most of the time, they'll just say, no, just follow your GPS. You should be all right. But once in a while, you'll be happy that you asked. Okay? The third tip. Now, this is for people that are already lost, okay? One thing you want to do is do not just make a random turn. Do not just like, if you miss a turn, do not drive straight, get frustrated, and make a left or a right. I mean, you'll be in more trouble than you begin with. I can't tell you freaking how many times I drove and then I made a right. Next thing you freaking know, I'm in like downtown and it says no trucks and I'm stuck and I'm trying to back out and I can't back out. So I'm like hopping curbs and I'm almost hitting people and it's just like a clusterfuck, right? So what you want to do is, if you missed your turn or whatnot, just keep on going straight, because there's a great chance that the road that you're on is a trucker road and you're able to go straight. Just go straight until you can find a place to park over at a shoulder, okay? The best bet you want to do always is make a U-turn. That's not the easiest bet, but what you want to do is, of course, a legal U-turn at that. But just keep on driving straight until you can park somewhere on the shoulder. Then what you want to do is you want to just park, put your flashers on or whatnot, and then just for a few minutes, just remap where you're at and make sure that you could turn around. If you believe that you could make a right or a left and turn back around that way, if you're in a commercial area already, then do so. But if you are not in a commercial area, I would stop and I would just map out and try to find the best way to do U-turns. Another thing I like to do is, when I miss my turn or whatnot, I actually like putting my GPS and looking for like Home Depots, Lowe's, Walmarts, malls, auto malls. You basically get the picture, right? I'm basically looking for a place where I know truckers make deliveries to, and I know I could turn around and go back, okay? And if you can't go back, at least you could turn into one of these big plazas so that you can actually remap, all right? Because you do not want to just make a random turn, all right? And then the last tip of the day that I want to give you, okay, if you're already parked, I mean, you already missed your turn and you're parked and you're lost as hell and you want to ask someone for directions, do not ask a random stranger for directions, okay? You do not want to do that. If you need to, here's the tip, okay? Here's the life hack. This is what I do, all right? I used to have a friend that worked at the pizza delivery business, and he told me, if you are ever lost, call a pizza place. Call a freaking Pizza Domino's or a Little Caesars or something and call them for directions. I mean, the drivers, the delivery pizza guys, they know the city in and out. So if you are going to ask a freaking stranger, ask a stranger that actually knows where they're going, okay? So hopefully these tips will help, because I'm telling you right now, as a new driver, as a rookie, you're going to get lost. Just get used to it. But overall, hopefully you found this video useful. Please like and subscribe as always. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Appreciate you guys. Hey.